Trent Alexander Arnold is coming back to Anfield. Welcome to the Anfield Exchange, and we have got some tough games in our Champions League group. So, if you've been watching the draw earlier on, you'll see that Liverpool have drawn Real Madrid at Anfield. It was sort of inevitable. We all had a feeling it was going to happen. It happened, and yeah, I couldn't be more excited if I'm honest. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to run through the games. I'm going to just talk in brief about the games, about the teams we're going to be coming up against and how we're looking this season. But yeah, I think there's one thing for sure. It is definitely going to be a tough group stage or league phase, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of good teams in it this year. I was watching the draw and a lot of the league phases, a lot of the draw. Is very, very tough. I think PSG got a tough one. But yeah, let's run through ours. So where else are we going to start? We're going to start with Real Madrid at Anfield. We know it's never an easy game against Real Madrid, despite what we all think, what we all believe. We played them last year. We beat them 2-0 at Anfield, and we put in a brilliant performance. It were in the same week that we played Man City as well. So, yeah, it was brilliant last year. Hopefully more of the same this year. They've got a new manager in, obviously, Xabi Alonso, which I think, look, depending when we play Real Madrid and at what stage, I think Real Madrid will be a lot stronger than what they look now. I would expect them to be a more improved team than they were last year. I thought there was definitely something not right with Real Madrid last year. But they've got off to a good start in the league. They've won the first two games. Like I said, Alonso, I think it's going to take him time to get this team where he wants it to be. They've changed the tactics, the formation. There's a lot of change going on at Real Madrid. There's a lot of new players that have come in fairly recently. If you look at the likes of Mbappe and you look at, say, Jude Bellingham, obviously Trent Alexander Arnold's come in. Not sure off the top of my head whether there's been any more sort of signings for Real Madrid. Obviously, Luka Modric has left. Toni Kroos has retired. So there's been quite a lot of change in recent years. But it's still going to be a tough game. But the big one, Trent Alexander Arnold back at Anfield. Look, we all wanted it to happen. I know there's a lot on social media at the minute about, let's give him everything, let's boo him, let's boo the shit out of him. I'm not sure that that's going to happen to a degree. I don't think it will be the whole crowd booing him if there are boos. I think it will be not a minority, but I think it'll be about 50-50. For me personally, I have no issues booing him. I think what he did was just short of a disgrace, and if he gets booed, I'm fine with that. If he doesn't get booed, I'm sort of veering towards the side of I want him to get booed. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if Trent Alexander-Arnold miraculously gets an injury before the game. I don't think it's a game he'll want to play in. If he does play in it, I think it'll be very much like the performance he put in for us last year against Man United. I think his head will be gone. I don't think he's mentally strong enough to deal with that sort of scenario. But a lot of the talk coming out at the minute is that Dani Carvajal is the first choice right back, and that Trent Alexander-Arnold has looked a little bit lazy, a little bit off it in training. So it might be a case that we don't even see Trent back there. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. We got drawn against Inter away from home. Now, I think Italian teams are always tough to play against away from home. We've had our sort of games against Napoli in the past where we've struggled. I think it's a completely different way of football. It's a very organised, very defensive way of playing football. They've got a new manager, Christian Cavu, who he's got off to a good start. I think they beat Torino 5-0 in the opening fixture of the season. I think Simone Inzaghi will be a big loss for Inter Milan. They were very strong under Inzaghi. They got to a Champions League final last year. So I think we'll have to wait and see how Inter develop under this new manager. One thing for sure is that towards the end of last season, I think could have been a big part in their defeat in the Champions League final. They got a very aging squad, and obviously they were slapped a little bit by PSG in the final. I think when you're coming up against a team that has these young prospects like that, it just felt like a mismatch in that game. But yeah, I think Inzaghi going to Saudi, I think that would be a massive loss to Inter Milan. But we've brought in some young lads. Johan Bonny, who's 21. Andy Diouf, goalkeeper, that's 22. Peter Sucic as well, 21, Croatian lad. So I think they are sort of in a rebuild at the minute, and I think it's probably going to take time. But either way, it's Inter Milan. It's away from home. It's going to be a tough fixture. Then we also got drawn against Atletico Madrid, who, again, we've struggled with in the past. They've made some good signings, Alex Baena and David Hanko they've brought in. I think the strength of Atletico Madrid, it's not necessarily in the players, because they have got some brilliant players. I think Julian Alvarez is, for me, a world-class player. It won't be long until he's playing for one of the top clubs, I would believe. I would have loved him at Liverpool this year, but obviously we've got the targets, their eyes set on Alexander Isak. At time of recording this, we'll see where that's at when this comes out. But yeah, they have got some world-class players, but I think the strength lies in Diego Simeone. I think I rate Simeone as a manager so much. I think what he's done at Atletico Madrid and the longevity of it, he's so organised, he's so solid, and I think that is the biggest strength of Atletico Madrid. There's no way he will not be going into this fixture without a plan and without every member on that team knowing exactly what he expects from them. So again, another tough game for Liverpool, that one. Again, they've got off to a pretty poor start in the league so far. They drew 1-1 with Elche and got beat 2-1 by Espanyol, but I don't expect that's going to last. They've got too much quality, and the manager's too good to let this go on. I do think they'll turn it around. There is the other aspect of it though, where sometimes longevity is detrimental, and potentially it's getting a little bit stale, and sometimes you do need a change of manager just to get that improvement. I think we saw it a little bit at Man City last year with Pep Guardiola. I think, yes, they were missing Rodri, but I think everything got a little bit stale. He's trying to mix it up this year. We'll see how it turns out this year. Again, they've got off to a 4-0 win against Wolves and got beat against Tottenham, so it's not the perfect start. But yeah, I think there's an aspect of it where sometimes longevity can be detrimental to a football club. Next up, we got Hugo Ekitike's former club. We will be going to Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, another tough place to go. A fantastic team. They're just one of those teams that they seem to develop these players. They sell them. They make profit. And there seems to be a never-ending conveyor belt of talent coming through at these sort of clubs. Obviously, they've recently sold Ekitike to us. I think in January, they sold Mamouche to Man City as well, who were the top two performing players at the club. They've got off to a good start in the league, and they've got another gem coming through in Chan Uzan. Don't know too much about him, but I'm seeing raving reviews about him. So he's another one. They've got some other young talents as well. Eli Wahi, we know about him. He's been on the scene for a few years now. He's doing well for Frankfurt, and he's had a good career to date. Hugo Lawson as well, and Faris Chaibi. I think Chaibi's going to be an absolute superstar. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a move to the Premier League or potentially Real Madrid or Barcelona in the near future. But yeah, they have this way of bringing through these young players, and it's a little bit like Brighton in England. They get these players, they build them up, they sell them on for profit, and there's this never-ending conveyor belt of new players coming through. So yeah, again, Frankfurt won't be easy. They've had European glory as well. They won the Europa League not too long ago, so they've got experience in that squad as well, and they've got players like Mario Götze, who's got an abundance of experience as well. So yeah, another tough game. Getting on to the sort of latter part of the draw, I think probably one of our more comfortable games was the draw against PSV at Anfield as well. Like I said, I think this is one of our more comfortable fixtures in this league phase. They have got some good players. Ruben van Bommel comes to mind. Ricardo Pepi is a good young player. Paul Wanner as well, another good young player. They have got some good players, but I do actually think that look, the gap between the Eredivisie and the Premier League, I think it's too big, and I think Liverpool will be too strong for them on the day. They've got off to a good start again in the Eredivisie. It's what you expect from PSV. They've been quite dominant over the last couple of years. Very, very good team at that level. It's just making a step up to Champions League level. Obviously, we played them last year away from home. I think we got beat 3-2 in the end. And yes, it was a different squad for them, but we had a fully rotated squad. We had our young lads out. We had the guys that weren't getting too many minutes. We had those lads playing as well. So yeah, I think this is one that we probably should pick up 3 points in, and I would be very disappointed if we didn't. Moving over to France, we got another tough tie from, I believe, pot 3 away to Marseille. Now on paper, Marseille are not the juggernaut that they used to be back in the 80s and the 90s. But it's still a very tough game. We've got De Zerbi in charge there, who obviously we know as a manager, he's a very good manager. I think it was a surprise when he left Brighton and went to Marseille because there was some big clubs in for him. He's a very good manager. He has a very good attacking way of playing. Very good on the ball, good passing, good movement. Yeah, very, very, very tough game for us. That will be. I think it'll be deceivingly tough as well. Like I say, tough place to go. But in terms of the players, again, they've got the likes of, as much as I don't like to publicise him, Mason Greenwood is a very good player. He plays for Marseille. Angel Gomez as well. Amin Gouiri, good players. Adrien Rabiot. So they have got quality in the team, and Liverpool will need to go and be on it to get a result there, because again, like Italy, France, it's not necessarily an easy place to go and get a result for some reason. I think they've got history as well, Marseille, of being a very big club within European competitions as well. So yeah, they'll have experience on that aspect as well. So it's going to be tough. I did say it were a tough group. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see how we get on. Moving on to pot 4, the draw. Again, another tough game away to Galatasaray. It's actually that game worries me a little bit, because they won the league last year on 102 points. They've started well again this year. 3 out of 3 wins. And when they won the league last year, they're up against a Jose Mourinho Fenerbahce team who, again, are very, very good, but Galatasaray were just better. So we've shown they've got something about them. Again, Turkey is not an easy place to go. There's worries for fans over in Turkey. We've seen a lot of history, not with Liverpool, but with other clubs, Leeds specifically. There's been a lot of violence and whatnot. We hope that there's none of that. But in terms of the football, yeah, they play very good football, and they've got some very, very good players. A good mix of experience and youth as well. They've got players like Sané, Leroy Sané. He plays for them now. Mauro Icardi, Zaniolo, Mario Lemina. They've got a good young right back who I really, really like in Wilfried Singo. I think he's a brilliant player. But yeah, another tough fixture, and one that you're hoping not to come up against from pot 4. Certainly, it's probably one of it. I think along with Newcastle, them and Galatasaray and Newcastle are probably the 2 toughest games in pot 4. But again, we're in the Champions League. You play to play the best teams. I'm sort of there's an element of me that's a little bit worried, just probably more based on the way that Liverpool are playing at the minute. But in terms of a Champions League, I want to come up against the best. I think. Look, when you look at the fixtures, it's potentially a worry in terms of qualifying in the top 8, but then you've also got the safety net. If you finish in the top 24, which Liverpool should do that very, very easily, then you've got the knockout round. Obviously, we saw last year, Man City took on Real Madrid. You can come across some big teams in that knockout round, and like I say, Man City were out of the competition before even the knockout stages started, so yeah, there's always that aspect. You want to get it done early. You want to go straight through if you can and finish in the top 8. Not always the case, but ideally, like I say, we don't want to take that chance in the knockout playoffs. And the last game, probably the easiest game from pot 4 at Anfield again. Karabag, they are the Azerbaijan champions. That was tongue twister. Azerbaijan, they are the champions. They won by 15 points last year. They finished on 89. Again, I don't anticipate that Karabag will cause us too many problems. It should be from the fixtures we've got, it should be the guaranteed 3 points out of all those fixtures. I think it is by far the easiest fixture we've got, probably followed by PSV at home then, and then potentially followed by Real Madrid at home. But yeah, look, it's a fantastic Champions League group. It's a fantastic, it were a fantastic draw. And not a big fan of the way the draw was done. I don't know what I were expecting. I were expecting bowls and pots and the usual draws, but it wasn't to be. Big build up to it. Not a big fan of that either. There was some corny movie thing with Zlatan and the matey at UEFA. But yeah, all in all, happy with the draw. Tough draw. There's a lot of teams that have got tough draws. It could have been tougher. It could have been easier. But you're in the Champions League. You know what to expect. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think of a draw. Let me know what fixture you're looking forward to the most. I would imagine it's going to be Madrid at Anfield. But let me know if I'm wrong. And I'll see you on the next one.